Hi guys, so I'm doing a video of a studio setup of what you need for $1,500 or less, and so it may be a little bit over or maybe a little bit under. I didn't do the math, but this is stuff I recommend. Other than the mic is your choice. You don't have to pick these specific ones. You can get a cheaper mic, but I do recommend everything else, except for depending on if you're getting a condenser or a dynamic. If you're getting a dynamic mic, then one of these things can be left off. If you're getting a condenser, if you're getting a dynamic, one has to be added. If you are getting a condenser, one is being left off. But the dynamic one could be left off too if you so desire to. But the first thing I'll start off is with speakers. I'm going in order of how I have it on here. So I'm doing this audio test. I'm doing this test with a compressor slash noise gate slash EQ channel strip that I have on my desk. So, switching. Okay. So this is the first thing. So you need two of these, which are the KRK Rockets. They're studio monitors. They have a flat sound pretty good for what they are. They have, if you look on the back of here, they have balanced TRS. They also have balanced TRS that is a multi-input jack, so you could use a what's that thing called, a TRS-K cable on there, or an XLR, depending on which one you are using, depending on your interface. So you need two of them or more, depending on which interface you want, or if you're doing live studio mixing, you can use a different pair of studio monitors, like the Yamaha ones, or I recommend the KRKs because I actually use those. So next one is you will need the scissor arm, which I recommend the Rode PSA1 if it's a cheap one. That's really high quality. It doesn't have any external springs, so it doesn't get the vibration from actually the springs if you accidentally bump it or bump the desk. Next thing is either for audio interface, I recommend Audient, but this is the ID22. I don't have this one. The ID22 has, if you look at it, has two XLR ports, so you can use either two lines or two mics. So because it's a combo jack, it has a send and receive for what's the thing called, for effects times two. It has in and out for, it has out for two left and two rights for speakers. Has headphone, has Toslink in and out. It also has the power cable to run it from the wall. It also has a regular USB-A port. And it is a really good one if you want separate audio channels and separate monitor channels. So the headphone channel right there and the monitor channel for there. So the speakers, that's what they call speakers or monitors. And then over here, back to this is the one I honestly recommend if you want something newer. This is the ID 414 Mark II. So this one has a USB-C interface. So if you don't have USB-C, you can use USB-C to USB-A. This one has optical, so it has Toslink input. It has two um TRS inputs for speakers, so two left and two rights, and it also has two mic line ins and outs. I mean two mic and slash line inputs, and this one also has a separate channel for headphone and um a speed and monitors. The one I have is the ID4. I mean the ID4 Mark II, which is the basic one. Just has separate the headphone and speaker channel are pretty much the button right here. The ID, you literally can control stuff like VLC with it. It has the DAW and input in mixing, which means when you turn the knob all the way to like the DAW side, you only hear stuff coming out of the headphone or speakers. And then if you turn all the way to the left, you only hear the input, the feedback input from actually the microphone. There's guitar gain or instrument gain, and then there's also mic gain. It has a combo jack on the back. It has two input. It has one input for left and right. For the what I'm calling it two by is it has two. It just has a single, which means just a single left and right input, and USB-C and 45 volts phantom power. They all have 45 volts phantom power, so you can use that if you need a condenser mic. You can just basically use this one if you don't want to get the next part. I recommend getting this for your audio. So the next part, well, not this part. So you would need, if you got two speaker because if you got two monitors, you need two of these. If you get the next part, that's after this part that I was talking about before this last part I was just talking about with actually the ID4, you would need one more of these. So you'll need three in total. So next is this is the DBX 286S. It's a channel trip it's rack mountable. I don't have mine racked because I don't have rack right now for my audio equipment. So this one has this one actually has a mic preamp. It has de-esser. It has a compressor. Has a noise gate, and also has a equalizer, and also the output gain. So when you set the output gain basically sends more output to your interface before it goes to your computer. The noise gate, it basically gets rid of any background noises like that are a steady rumble, and it won't be picked up that easily. Because if I stay quiet, you will be able to hear it. As you saw, that just basically got rid of any background noise. The EQ is the equalizer. It basically can equalize a high end and a low end. Then there is the de-esser is meant to get rid of the S sounds, and then the compressor makes high end noises lower, while like a lower end noise is higher. And then for the mic preamp gain is basically for the mic preamp, and you need this in order to hook this to the audio interface with the TRS cable. Into if you get the ID4, it goes into the combo jack on the XLR port on the audio interface. Same with the ID4 14, but it goes into the specific one that says line in. And then after that, you need a cloud lifter. So cloud lifter can be gotten rid of, depending on if you, because to use a cloud lifter with a condenser mic, you have to get a phantom power supply, which is another line you have to put in after the cloud lifter, just to get an extra couple decibels of gain. Is to be specific, it's 25 decibels of gain, clean gain. And so you also need um two XLR cables. So two XLR cables, for example, the first XLR cable is to go from the DBX to the cloud lifter, and from the cloud lifter to the microphone. That's what the second one is for. The cloud lifter isn't needed for dynamic microphones unless you wanted to get cleaner gain and a higher sounding output with basically without running your actual audio interface hot. Also, without running the DBX's preamp hot either. So, but you can do that with the cloud lifter by getting more gain, so you can keep the knobs down lower, and it sounds okay, and it's also give you a good effect. The only effect you probably need, the only effect you would need is if you wanted a reverb effect, but they sell separately. You can add that onto the line in port of of the DBX, so you can basically get a reverb effect in real time, and then turn it off when you don't need it with a knob. And then you can basically put this into some kind of rack, or if you wanted to, or a desk that actually holds um a that like holds your actual audio equipment, like your audio interface or racked audio interface, like the 18i from actually Scarlett, the Focus from like Focusrite. But the Audient makes one too. But I just recommend the ID4 if you wanted something that bypass the actual gain. I mean, bypass actual gain, the mic, the preamp on the audio interface. So, and then what the mic I have the is the RE20 from Electro Voice. And what I would recommend, I would recommend this mic if you don't mind spending $449 on the device. Two, if you don't mind spending another $99 on the actual shock mount that it comes with. That basically you don't need it, but it basically actually helps with the basically getting rid of any vibrations to the microphone. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So this is another mic, which is the SM7B. It's a cardioid dynamic microphone. That's a radio voice would use if you want to use it for like voiceovers or let's plays. I recommend getting this one. If you want something a little bit cheaper, just buy uh $50. But this one is actually a really nice one. A lot of people who actually do voiceovers use this one because it actually makes the voice sound a little bit better with more with less color than like most um microphones. It's also a good budget microphone versus the the RE20 is basically just more aimed at people who do radio shows, and they are trying to get the not have to have more of a proximity effect, because the SM7B has more proximity effect than the RE120 does, and most people like that. I honestly don't, and I also like the look of the RE120. So, for example, they have other mics you actually can like get. For example, these are two of the most popular ones. Um, this is the RE20. You don't have to get the silver version, but the silver is the one I have because I actually like the actual color of it. They do have a black one for the same exact price, and it's completely black. And then they have the R320, which is another version of an electro voice microphone. Um, and it comes with all of this right here, which is comes with the little mount for the monitor. I mean, for a bigger mic mount. I mean, smaller mic mount. This one is meant for if you just want to use it with this. I don't really like that one. I preferred the actual shock mount. Yes, it costs $99, but it, in my opinion, is worth it because it makes it look a little cooler the way it is. And, but it does make it a little bit longer because if you want it shorter, because right now with the mic with the shock mount on, it's around about 1 foot 5 inches, and it is pretty large. So, cause I can show you what it looks like. So where I'm sitting is not very close to the microphone, but my hand, so going to right here, it goes to right here, the actual mic. So that's what I recommend for this for a studio setup. If you want to record some video, or audio. For audio, I recommend using Cakewalk or Cubase, or using Pro Tools. If you want, if you're using Windows, if you're using Mac OS and you have the money, go for Logic. If you have if you're on Linux, I'm not really sure right now. So going back here. So and if you want to find specific mics, just type in microphone on Sweetwater, and then find one you want, and then look for it somewhere else a little bit cheaper, or look for it or look for it or look for one that is comparable. I recommend going with a either a dynamic or a condenser. Don't go for ribbon mic, because those ones definitely need a clout lifter. They also definitely need a really good audio interface, like the baby face from RME, which is another expensive interface. But if you want something cheap that would basically drive the actual both these microphones, you would need a clout lifter for sure. You would also need two high quality XLR cables. Make sure the cloud lifter isn't by anything electric, because of you'll get interference from actually the cables. The microphone will get interference from actually the electricity. For an audio interface, I recommend, if you don't want to spend $199 or $299 on an audio interface, I recommend the Scarlett Solo, which is $129. Or you can go with the Behringer Euphoria, which is a good budget one, which is like $60. But I do recommend the Audient one for the price it is. It's really good. So thanks for watching, and this is so about the last video you guys probably saw. That one was just a test of basically if I could make a actual avatar look okay on my videos. Didn't work out how I liked it, so I'm just going back to camera. So thanks for watching. Bye.